First, I want to discuss what the transverse muscle is and how I see it, and I'm going to simplify it for you guys. First of all, it starts at the spine and it wraps itself around like a belt, and it finishes up at the linear elbow, which is the line separating the six pack. Okay, so think of it as a sausage, okay? It is the outer casing that's holding all of our organs together and our hips. So what we're going to do here is switch them back on. And this is something you could do 3, 4, 5 times a week, because it's not as damaging, and your body can recover from these a lot easier and a lot faster than, say, the chest, the back, the legs. And it's only going to help you switch your core on so you can protect your lower back. With that said, let's jump straight into how we're going to be able to strengthen it with, I think I have about 5 or 6 exercises for you guys to try, and you can do this all the time. So our first exercise is the dead bug. What we want to do, our main focus is to push our back into the ground as we lower our contralateral limbs, so the opposite leg and the opposite arm, with our back forcing into the ground. That's going to keep a tight core. Stretch it out. Make sure your whole back is connected to the ground, and then bring it back up. We're going to do 10 on each side. 10. Right, our next exercise is going to be the plank. This one, you basically just want to keep your core tight and try and keep your body nice and straight. Now, if you're a beginner, you can go on your knees. It's not going to be as effective, but what I want you to focus on then is just sucking in, drawing in your stomach as you breathe out. So you're allowing all of the oxygen out of your stomach, so you've got room to move it in. So like this, you're going to start like this if you're a beginner. Breathe out. Bring that stomach in and hold it. You want to be holding it until you need a breath again. All right, so you can practice that way, but we're going to go straight to the planks. We're going to hold our body straight on our elbows for as long as we can. Starting with a minute. Getting our shoulders over the top of our elbows. To make it a little bit difficult, you can actually pull your body back and have it a little bit more stretched and vulnerable. But for this exercise, we don't need to overdo it. So nice and straight. Keep that core tight, and try and visualize that body being straight as possible. Drop the chest, ass, hips rotated, flexed in if you can. Straight legs. And we're going to hold this for a minute. Those beginners can start at 30 seconds if you want. Wouldn't go any below that though. If you go below 30 seconds, it's kind of pointless. Our next exercise is actually the side plank with a rotation. So I'm going to run through the beginner one, which is basically just raising your hips off the ground and trying to keep your body straight in a vertical plane, but also in the parallel plane this way. So you don't want your body kinked here, you want to pull in so it's nice and straight this way, but also nice and straight this way. And we're going to be working the muscles this way. They need to be, you'll feel them switch on, right? They've got to be tight. Partially, the obliques are going to be activated as well. The shoulders, if you've got bad shoulders, maybe pop it up onto a pillow or something, or you could also come up a little bit straighter like this. Might be a little bit easier if you can lock your shoulder in place, but I find that this is just as beneficial. Then we're going to move on to the advanced position, an exercise which is with a rotation. Now we're coming around and tucking ourselves through as far as we can, and then coming back around. What that's doing is actually pulling the transverse muscle tighter from the opposite ends. So it inserts from the back of the spine, comes around, remember, to the linear elbow. It's pulling that side around, but then the other side's got to be holding us up too. So as soon as we switch to the other side, that's going to be a full-on workout for the transverse muscles. Now you guys can happily pick 2 or 3 of these and do them 3 times. Perfect. All right, so guys, I've got my shirt off because I need to show you how to do a vacuum properly. And with my singlet, you're not going to be able to see that. This is your main one that you guys can do in the car where you're driving to work and you're spending a lot of hours in that vehicle. It's a very, very good place to practice. I know I practice it a lot and see how long I can actually hold it. And each time you do that, whether you hit it for a minute or 2 minutes each time, it's training that muscle to switch on and become tighter. Also protecting your lower back. So it's a good idea to do this while you're on the way to work. Reactivate the transverse muscle. So when you're at work doing all of your activities, it's already awake, it's already protected. You've got the transverse muscles which have switched on, which have then reactivated the obliques, and you've got your core. Because a lot of dads and tradies out there have got that belly, okay? They've got that gut. And that gut, even though it's big, you still have the muscles underneath and they can still protect you. So you're going to be able to tighten your waist in for one without dieting. So you're going to see a massive change there by tightening up your core. You're going to have stronger rotation and mobility. So when you pick something up, you're less likely to actually pull a muscle or hurt yourself. So with these ones, it's all about breathing. We want to support our upper body. So I'll just lean over like this. So now I can actually cup my belly and see it come in. So again, we want to breathe out and allow the oxygen to make room. So when we breathe out, the oxygen dissipates and then the lungs actually shrink, allowing us to push the abdominal muscle into the stomach. Now, for guys with bigger bellies, you're not going to be able to see it or feel it as much, but the main idea is to push between your pelvic and your belly button towards your spine, okay? And then just hold that. And each time try to get a little bit further and further and further. Now you could, once you get to a stage where you're a little bit lighter, a little bit thinner, you can spread your rib cage like this and get it in further. So you're gonna hold this just for as long as you can hold your breath for. Then when you get up to a stage where you can time it for about 30 seconds to 60 seconds, then you're on a good point. So what we're gonna do is just sort of catch your breath again, get a nice rhythm of breathing. And then when we breathe out, we want to draw the stomach in towards the spine. Okay, so we've got a neutral spine here. It's nothing too special sticking out or up like this. It's just relaxed where it is. And all we're doing is breathing out and drawing that stomach towards the spine. So you'll feel it. You'll feel your whole abdominal, like your lower section, tighten up, and that's where you know you've activated. Then you want to hold it for as long as you can, and we want to run through that a few times, and then we move on to our next exercise. You could do this pretty much every day. I would be saying it's safe to do it every day. The amount of load that your back takes, this could definitely take a ton more, and it should. Actually, to become stronger, you need to implement more practice and create a pattern so that the body can adapt, become stronger, and know, hey, we need to be switched on all the time, otherwise the back's going to be taking it again. So let's start working on bettering our posture with proper core workouts. Right? And the vacuums is actually a really, really good one. So if you're sitting in your car, driving your car, what you want to do is pretend that you're about to lift your legs off, and you'll feel that your lower abs will activate. But you want to breathe in and draw in that pelvic muscle, that muscle that stops you from having a piss. Obviously, I'm saying don't take your feet off the pedals so that you don't crash. But if you're drawing it, sitting up, so then your back's not taking all of the pressure like this. You want to be sitting up properly, if you can. Most of your upper torso is going to be supported by the car's seat. So it's going to look a little bit different than this. You'll probably be upright, and you'll be able to draw this in, and you'll see the muscles here. That's relaxed. That's drawn in. See, it's drawn all of that in, and that's where the muscles come around and up, around and up. So we want all of that tight pelvic muscle on while we're driving our car, and see how long you can hold it. Each time you do it, it's getting a little bit stronger, a little bit stronger, a little bit stronger. And that's going to be protecting your lower back from pinching nerves, slip discs. Even if you have got injuries, this is what I want you to do. Let's move on to the final exercise. I can get carried away with those. These are called broomstick twists. Now we're just going to grab a broomstick, which got over here. So nothing special. We just want to sit on a chair that will hopefully have our legs parallel with the floor or at a 90-degree angle. So if you like that, you want it about no higher than your hips. Okay, so somewhere about there would be perfect. A little bit lower, not as bad, but we want to keep our knees together if we can, tightening that core. And then all we're going to be doing is we're just supporting it with our hands, but it's also allowing us to move more freely with our upper body. So we want to breathe out as we contract and move our rotational core the opposite way. So we're going to be going left, breathing out, and you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it in here. All right, your love handle is going to feel tight. All right, this is going to help with flexibility as well. Breathing in, all right, and we're going to breathe out. Come around. Get your breath back. It can be very difficult. I usually have a longer broomstick than this, but I think Rick has it out the back. Takes all my stuff. So again, we're just pushing and rotating our whole torso together. Feeling it in the love handles. Keep those knees together. All right, and you can hit a higher rep number on these. So I'd go somewhere like between 50 and 100 each side. So that's 1, 2, 2. And then you're going to be able to feel your flexibility is going to allow you to rotate a little bit further, and it's going to be less tight. So we want to smash out these. These are a nice relaxing one that you guys can do anywhere, anytime. It doesn't have to be a broomstick. I've even done it with weights, so you got the barbell. But it's all about flexibility and flexion. So we want to be able to rotate as far as we can without that resistance and tension on our back. If we've got too much heavy weight on our back, we're going to be doing this. So that's why I just say you just need a broomstick so you can open up your lats and your upper body, and then use your whole core to rotate around. Hold, and then draw it back into the middle. Get your thoughts, get your breath, get yourself back together. Then we reset and go the other way. Breathe out. Perfect. As much as the legs want to separate, try and fight it, okay? Because that's going to be pulling on the transverse muscles and partially the obliques, because they are a very dominant muscle. But there you go, guys. That is how we strengthen our transverse muscles. I'll run through all of those circuits 3 times, and that'll generally build up enough volume and strength between our transverse muscles. So if you do have back problems, get any of these exercises in, even if it's one exercise 3 times a week. Perfect. You're starting somewhere and you'll notice a change in your physique and in the strength of your core, and you're going to protect your lower back from any pains. So I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you like and share and subscribe to my channel for more exercises.